Good morning my lovers, I'm back out on my fields. I haven't started metal detecting quite yet, but I'm sure to get a really good signal in a minute. Right, I'm going to have one of my chats to the camera. Now, the last time I had a chat to the camera, it was a bit, wasn't as successful as I was hoping it to be. Sure, I got a lot of, a hell of a lot of thanks and support and really supportive people saying, go for it Kelly, stand up to the bullies, blah blah blah. But I lost 75 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel now, because it's starting to creep back up a bit. But anyway, I digress. I've got some really good news. Well, if you can call it good news. I don't know if you can call it good news. I've discovered something that is really shocking, really horrifically shocking compared to what metal detectorists are doing. You know that bunch of people that metal detectorists are always trying to sort of get along with but not quite, called archaeologists? Well, did you know, and you're going to be shocked after this, did you know that archaeologists have got no restrictions at all? None. They can go out into the fields on private land, they can get their JCBs out, they can dig great big holes and trenches, and all their little guys and girls can go along scraping back. There's nothing protecting them at all. I saw it on the news this morning. I thought, what are they still doing in the fields? Because there was some Roman dig where they found some epic finds, and it was on the news, and I thought, hey, what's going on here? Like, they're still out in the field. So I went and checked, and I went on to that national organisation that looks after archaeologists, and I looked for their sort of thing about the virus, and it was there in black and white. They can do what they like, but we are not allowed. In fact, not only are we not allowed, there's a fair amount of criticism of those YouTubers who are still going out metal detecting by archaeologists, and yet they are still allowed to go and do their archaeological works. I think that's completely and utterly out of order. I'll put a link in the description to this National Archaeological Organisation, and you can read it for yourself. But yeah, if you go online and you look for your local archaeological company, and to see what current digs they've got going on, oh yeah, they've all got current digs going on during this lockdown. They're allowed to go into the fields. They're allowed to take minibuses full of people there and have digs and work in tents. You know, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, should they? They're throwing stones at us. And yet they're not allowed, we're not allowed to do anything ourselves. Well, not allowed, it's guidelines. It's a bit of a grey area. See, I don't know what the difference is between metal detectorists with their electronic devices going into fields and looking for ancient treasures, and the difference between an archaeologist with their metal devices, like their magnetometers and their resistivity surveys and their ground penetrating radar surveys and their drones and everything. They'll use electronic devices to search for ancient treasures like we do. So what's the difference? There's a group of them going into the fields, you know, taken there in minibuses, and they're all sharing the little trowels and the spades and the buckets, and they're all relatively close to each other. You know, when we're doing it in the fields, it's me, I travel by bicycle to my field, and I go home afterwards by bicycle. I don't go into any petrol stations and, you know, and fill up for juice, you know, possibly transmitting the disease within the petrol station, or in America you'd call it a gas station. You know, archaeologists, these archaeologists that are allowed to continue to go digging, are virtually super spreaders compared with me. Did you see that film? Did you see how Mr. Brown was treated? You know, he found the greatest discovery of the 20th century, and Mrs. Pretty, the lady that owned the house, she donated all of those finds to that museum, right? All of them, on the condition that Mr. Brown got recognition for finding it. and they didn't give him any recognition at all. He died a broken man because they refused to give him any recognition. And we're not allowed to go metal detecting and go digging, and yet they are. They're allowed to go and dig, and we're not. I know what you lot are going to be doing next weekend. Right, I'm going to have a puff on this vaporizer and get back to metal detecting, because I've been finding some epic treasures today.